It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
And good afternoon. It is Friday, March 17th, 2023, St. Patrick's Day. We are live on Woodward Sports Network. We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I am Flannel Sam filling in for Ryan Ermanni. This is Braylon Edwards to my right. We got Tom Mazawey in the Maz chair, JB in the sound booth, and Fletch on the ones and twos. And before I go any further, let me just say that if you cannot catch this show live, be sure to check out the podcast available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. And while you're on woodwardsports.com, please check out the merch site. You can watch all the live shows, you can see replays, everything there you could want is on Woodward Sports Network. But first off, to the room, happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. Braylon Edwards, what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you?
You know what? It's always a time. Like, I didn't start drinking until I was 21. And when I did in Ann Arbor, Michigan usually has great St. Patrick's Day parties. So when I would go back, I'd always go up there with the teammates, the team, hang out, be on campus. So like my fondest memories of, I guess, this day are deeply rooted at University of Michigan on campus and in downtown as well. You know, this is always an interesting time for Detroiters because you have St. Patty's Day, which is crazy downtown. And then usually, Mavs, 2 weeks later is what? She's the opening day. So you usually get basically back-to-back St. Patty's Day within 2 weeks. But, you know, it's just good to get with people. I think the best thing that our holidays do, especially kind of like a Cinco de Mayo, kind of like a St. Patty's Day, days that don't necessarily belong to this country, but people that come to this country, it just brings people together. Like, you see all types of walks of life drinking together, partying together. You see guys and girls watching the March Madness tournament, drinking green beer. I mean, if you're in Chicago right now, you know what Lake Michigan looks like. The Green River, the Green Lake. Yeah. So I just think it reminds me of people coming together per se. The real meaning of St. Patrick's Day, I'll stay away from that, but it's good to see people hang together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that it's on the same day as day 2 of March Madness, it is just chaos everywhere. And speaking of March Madness, Michigan State looks like they're about to beat USC in the first round. Much to the chagrin of myself. Tom Mazawey, how are you reigning in St. Patrick's Day?
I'm doing good. I'm here with you guys. Happy birthday to my sister Sue, my oldest sister. Sue. She is give her my birthday love, of
Another
course.
Pisces.
She's a Pisces, no doubt about it. Hey, St. Patty's Day is great, especially if you're in Columbus today and you're rooting for Michigan State. They are all over USC right now, up 15 with just a few minutes to go. So East Lansing, I know my daughter Lil's there. Lil, I hope you're taking it easy. I know you guys are having a great time there. So everyone, just be careful and don't drive. Don't drive.
I think I speak for the whole state of Michigan when I say nothing good is in Columbus.
Oh, nothing good is in Columbus. And good on you for the fatherly advice, Mads, because you are almost like the dad of the network. You're
almost.
Definitely. And there are a couple other people who are very special in my life who are reigning in St. Patrick's Day the right way. I believe Fletch has the pictures, and look at that. That is my dog, Jake. My wife sent me this picture. He's got his hat. He's got his green background. I mean, how could you not?
Jake is getting in. How do you not?
Jake he's my new puppy. He's about 20 pounds now, but he loves St. Patrick's Day just as much as everybody. And look, there's my cat, Milo. I cannot believe that my wife was able to get that hat on him because he's a squirrely little guy, but it's great to see. As much as I would love to be back home with them celebrating, I'm happy to be doing Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, with my work family. It is wonderful.
Now, is Milo from Milo and Otis?
Absolutely. Actually, no.
It's not from Milo and Otis?
Not from Milo and Otis. It was something that was kind of random.
You blew it. You only had one job.
Hey, but you know what? Maybe I should just tell people that it is.
I would.
All right.
The hell with the original meaning, Milo and Otis. That was a great movie when we were kids.
Well, I guess the viewers of Ermanni and Edwards with Maz I'm already outed by them as not naming it after Ermanni and after Milo and Otis. But you know what? Speaking of Braylon Edwards, you were talking about something before the show. Kind of want to lay out a scenario for the audience. I think you guys are going to want to hear this one. Take it away.
So obviously we started off talking about St. Patrick's Day, so it kind of sucks to switch into this, but this is our job. This is our show. This is our job. I'm going to paint a picture for you. Yesterday, I teased that I had some information that it's going to rock the world of social, dealing with sports, but it's going to rock the world. I want all my viewers out there, close your eyes right now, listen to this story. Imagine 2013, you have a best friend. His best friends, you and him, have been best friends for a very long time, okay? Now, with this, you meet at the same time a woman that will become your best friend, a woman that will become your wife, a woman that will become the mother of your children. And then 10 years later, you find that your two daughters, maybe both, but as of right now, definitely one, they may not be yours. They may not be yours. All this time and effort and love, and I appreciate you, JB, that you've put into this situation. All this time that you've put into your wife, she may not be yours either. Well, it is alleged, and I've heard this from multiple sources. I've heard this from friends in the Warriors organization. This comes from inside the Warriors organization, friends in the NBA, gossip individuals. Andrew Wiggins' wife has been having an affair with his best friend for the better part of 10 years, and neither one of his kids, but definitely one, is not his kid. It's his best friend's kid. We're going to open up the lines, not now, later. I want to know, what would you do if you were in this situation? Your best friend is the father of at least one, maybe both, of your kids, and has been sleeping with your wife, your best friend, for the better part of 10 years. Flannel Sam, I told you guys yesterday I want to get some more information before I just kind of launch that. We don't want to be in the business of breaking false news. Once again, these are allegations, but I have it on good authority that these things are true. Flannel Sam, you're newly married. Can you even imagine 10 years from now if this was your situation?
Well, let me just say this. I now understand why Andrew Wiggins has had to take an extended leave of absence, and he probably won't come back the rest of the year. That is what I keep hearing. Yeah, and this is a team that with Andrew Wiggins, they might have a shot at making a run. I mean, they won last year. But, man, Andrew Wiggins, in so many ways, basically from the moment he was in high school as one of the top prospects in the nation, maybe the top, he goes to Kansas. He gets picked #1 overall. He doesn't have a great career with Minnesota, but he's still a #1 overall pick.
Still a lot of buckets scored.
A lot of buckets scored. And then he finds his perfect basketball home in Golden State, in which he provides them exactly what they need. He wins a title. He's got more money than he could ever spend in a lifetime. He's probably going along his life as happy and carefree as can be. And then this happens. I couldn't imagine. It makes me... Yeah. I mean, if that were me in my scenario, I couldn't even imagine it. I would probably have to take some time off. I hope that never happens. But
I'm killing somebody.
Oh, you know what?
I'm killing somebody.
I'm
killing somebody. I'm killing somebody. And obviously, I'm joking. But you're talking about, like, you know how hard it is for men to trust? Like, I think men's biggest, the thing men fear the most, the two things that Maz, 60 plus years in this game, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the thing men fear most is, one, not being able to provide, money-wise, being broke, not being able to do the things they want to, not being able to provide for their kids, not being able to provide for their wife, or just do what you want to do in life. Two is getting cheated on by your wife. Like, men, you can call it simple, you can call us whatever. Yes, we're very basic. That is what men fear, being vulnerable, and then that vulnerability gets taken advantage of. Like, she's for the streets. Like, that is an understatement. I don't know what I would do, in all honesty. Like, he can never trust anyone again. This is a guy that comes from Canada. His boy is from Canada with him. He brought his boy to the United States of America. You can't trust friends. You can't trust women. Like, this is a tough situation. Like, I can't wait to do the SMA read, because Andrew Wiggins is going to need sports marketing agency.
No, listen, how could he? She's ruined his life.
His life.
She's ruined his career, because players, especially fans, mean fans,
they're mean.
They're never going to let him live this down. Never. What have they done with LeBron and his mom? Just that.
You may be going down south, but your mom's going riding west.
Yeah.
That was harsh when LeBron James' mom was dating Delonte West in secret. Like, this is... Fans are harsh. Can you imagine Golden State with Andrew Wiggins going to play in Boston with this? Those fans would eviscerate him. Yeah. Philly, going to play anywhere. Like,
he's gonna have to develop really thick alligator skin to continue his career. I hope he does. Yeah. And you know what? Those are his daughters.
Yeah.
The way I'm looking at it,
right.
Those are his girls for life. Those are his girls. The wife.
But it's hard.
That's another story.
It's hard not to look at. I think one is 8 and one's 3, or one is 10 and one is 3. Yeah. it's hard not to look at them, and every time you see them, you see the deceit. You see your best friend. Or
That don't matter.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The wife, she's done. She's gone.
I had a teammate, and I won't expose that teammate's name. He was a running back, and this is, I guess I can't tell you what year because it's kind of putting it out there, but he came and told me he had a situation where he didn't believe that his son was his, and his son was 11. Like, his son, 11, 12. Like, this is a different age. Like, this is you almost made it to high school at this point. And he said he didn't believe, and finally he went and had a DNA test, man, and it wasn't his son. I was like, blank. What do you do? What do you do at 12 years old? You find out that's not your son. Like, what do you do at 12? I mean, it's too many years invested into the game. So I feel like at that point you gotta still be there for him. But dang.
You know, I think we universally all believe that the wife belongs to the streets, but with the kids, it's a little bit more complicated. Me and Braylon, I think we both agree. I don't know if I would be able to look at those kids the same, but Maz is the only parent in the room,
tough.
So he understands it from a different.
Bro.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry about that, Braylon.
True.
Yeah, sorry about that, Braylon. But yeah, like, it's just, I don't know if I could. It is just such a situation. I mean, I hope that Andrew Wiggins rebounds well because he is still Andrew Wiggins. He could get any woman he wants. Maybe that's a lesson that when you're a young, up-and-coming NBA player or athlete, as you were one time, maybe don't get tied down to one woman. I don't know. I mean, is that a takeaway?
Polygamy? Monogamy and polygamy, that's always the age-old battle, especially when you deal with athletes, entertainers, and things of that nature. You know, and you find that one, like, I mean, you want to be with a woman. You want to share your life with a woman. You want to have kids. You want to do the song and dance. You want to do the vacations, the pictures, and all that stuff. Not for the Instagram. You just want to do it for yourself. So you want that. But I think deep down none of us believe that that's possible. But you're showing us that that's possible. Maz is showing us that that's possible. And then soon, Fletch in the booth will show us that that's possible. So it's possible. My parents have been married. Both my parents remarried. One's been married for 30-plus years. The other's been married for 25-plus years. So it's possible. It just sucks. This day and age is different from when Maz and our parents grew up.
Oh, definitely. And unfortunately, we go from the happiness of St. Patrick's Day to the despair of the Andrew Wiggins situation. But don't you worry. We've got plenty of NFL talk to go coming ahead. We're going to hear from Emmanuel Mosley. We're going to hear from David Montgomery. And we're going to hear from Cameron Sutton. This is some really, really good audio. You guys are going to want to hear this. They all sound excited. I think we are all excited about the free agency prospects, and we're also going to touch on a little bit of March Madness, go around the NFL. We have a jam-packed show ahead for all of you guys. But first, before we come back and discuss, I'm going to go David Montgomery first. I'm looking a little bit pale. And obviously, I can't. Oh, I'm definitely looking pale. I'm like a ghost up here. But I obviously can't go outside. Look at it. I got to go to Chili Peppers Tanning, of course, because Chili Peppers Tanning is the best place to tan. It offers the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and you can be a part of the Pepper Club for just, it'll be all competitors' prices by just $5. Unbelievable deal. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Three NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Citron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer for Woodward Sports fans. That means you. Their limited edition red pack is only $15 and it's free shipping and handling. Check it out, man. It's vegan friendly. It is gluten free. This is a product that is smooth and the cranberry flavor is the best. DrinkCitron.com/Woodward. Drink it. Love it with Citron.
And welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I am Flannel Sam. This is Braylon Edwards. We got Maz in the Maz chair, JV Smooth and Fletch on the 1s and 2s. So all of these new Lions free agents that they have acquired. We got David Montgomery, we got Cameron Sutton, we got Emmanuel Mosley, all ones that I think universally we are excited about in the room. I mean, I think that's pretty much universal throughout the whole Woodward Sports Network. It's great to have him here. And David Montgomery, he just had a chance to speak to the media today via the Lions Den, Detroit Lions Twitter. He is excited to start his career with the Detroit Lions.
To get opportunity to come here and play with a team that's starting something crazy, you know, being able to say that I can be a part of it, I'm blessed. You know, I'm feel very, very excited to be able to get in that offense that's so powerful and dynamic. So I'm excited to be here.
And that was via Detroit Lions Twitter inside the Lions Den. That was David Montgomery. And David Montgomery, the unique thing about him is he got to play the Lions twice a year for all 4 years of his playing career with the Chicago Bears. In the early part of his career, the Bears pretty much dominated the Lions. But last season, during that first game at Soldier Field, the Lions won. The Bears kind of gave that game to the Lions, but regardless, the Lions took it. But when the Bears had to go up to Ford Field, David Montgomery had a first-hand look at that Lions offense putting up 41 while his Bears offense put up 10. This is the best offense he is going to ever be a part of. I mean, some of the quarterbacks that David Montgomery played for, you got Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, guys like that. Justin Fields
Glennon.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Matt Glennon was there.
It's a graveyard for the most part. Justin Fields was obviously, he's promising, but his rookie season and even last year, he had some growing pains, of course. I mean, this looks like it is all set up for David Montgomery to have a breakout year with the Detroit Lions. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. I'm excited about it already. When you listen to his press conference just now, one of the major things that he said was, I'm excited to be here. Like I'm head down, 10 toes down. I'm ready to get active. He said he talks about how special this is. He talks about being a part of something special. That was the main words that he used, being a part of something special. That lets me know. We were talking about free agency. How is it going to be for the Detroit Lions plucking free agents? And I think you're seeing what's starting to happen, their thought process on what the Detroit Lions are building. The first thing he says is, I want to be a part of something special. He saw just how special that was when they played at Ford Field last year. They lost 41-10. You see the energy on the sidelines. You see the energy with the coach. He saw the energy with the fans. He saw how the fans were engaged in their team, showing their team love. So I think he saw firsthand, wants to be a part of the Detroit Lions firsthand. And I think he's also looking at that offensive line like, yo, I did that in Chicago. I can get busy here with the Detroit Lions behind that offensive line, Tom.
Hey, he said, he went on to say, we used to circle the date when we're playing the Lions because we knew that was going to be a win. That's going to be a big game for our offense, but not anymore. Now he'll be circling the Chicago Bears, I'm pretty sure, going forward. So, look, the word on the street is the Lions offered Jamal Williams the same deal or similar to that deal. And Jamal Williams' agent kind of dragged it out. So the Lions gave it a timetable. And the more Jamal Williams' agent waited, the Lions said, time's up. This guy's available. We're grabbing him. And you saw Jamal Williams went for less money to the New Orleans Saints. So it looks like the Lions gave Jamal ample opportunity to return. But I think they did better this way, to be honest with you.
How do you not?
This is one of those things now, Flannel, and I throw it back to you. The Detroit Lions have not had the benefit of things going in their favor, whether they were accidental or whether they were intentional. Things just never go the Detroit Lions' way. This is a situation where it sounds like this is an accident that worked in the Lions' favor. The Lions, look, they wanted everything that we talked about, what Jamal Williams represented to the franchise, we represented in that locker room, the things he said. They really wanted to reward that. They wanted to bring him back and make it a long-term deal. Jamal Williams saw those 17 touchdowns. He broke Barry Sanders' record. 17 touchdowns is a lot. He led the league last year in touchdowns.
He did.
Like, this is the NFL. 32 teams, all those Pro Bowlers, all those All-Pros, all that. He led the NFL in touchdowns gained last year. When you look at that, he probably wanted more money, thought he was going to get more money. And if it wasn't him, it damn sure was his agent saying, let's hold on. We gave Brad Holmes credit yesterday, and we got to give him credit again. Life is full of tough decisions. Life is full of tough decisions. Competent people make those tough decisions. And Brad Holmes chose to say, look, we gave him a window. He didn't operate in that window. We went and got Dave Montgomery. Less money, essentially, or the same money, but we got a better back. Even mistakes are now going the way of the Detroit Lions. Might be a good time to be a Detroit Lions fan.
And that's how you know it's working for you. It feels like to me that re-signing Jamal Williams for too much money would have been a same old Lions move. Brad Holmes isn't worried about fan perception. He is worried about making the Detroit Lions the best football team possible. And you know what's even better about David Montgomery? I want you to play this, Fletch. Listen to how excited he is. He says that he will pretty much do anything. Listen to what he says he will do to help this team.
If I need to go out there and pass protect every play, I'll do it. You know, if I need to go play PP on a punt, I'll do it. You know, if I need to play gunner, I'll do it. You know, if Jared needs some water, I'll give it to him. So, you know, it'll be good. I'm just here to, you know, service the team and, you know, be whoever Coach Campbell needs me to be.
I've been in this situation before, and I understand exactly where he is. And I told you this yesterday. I'll repeat this again because it goes perfect with this clip. Is when I left the Cleveland Browns, I was in a horrible situation. The Cleveland Browns are bad. We never make the playoffs. The budding joke of the league, with the exception of the Detroit Lions. Like, just no respect with the Cleveland Browns. No respect's a laughing stock. It feels like a dumpster fire. Once you get out, you're just so happy to get out. When I got out of Cleveland, when I got to the New York Jets, I'm diving for balls and I'm diving for passes, pause in practice. Like, I'm doing whatever needs to be done. I'm taking scout team reps. I'm going extra work with the Royal Reeves. I'm doing whatever I need to do to show them that I'm all in, that I'm here for the team, that I want to be here, because I was so out in the situation and I saw what chaos looked like. I just wanted to be a part of something special. And I think that's what David Montgomery is saying to Detroit Lions. Look, I'm so happy to be here. You got me out of this last situation. I just want to do what I can to keep this thing rolling.
He said in his clip earlier, he's coming to the Lions team that's doing something special. People see it. Yeah. Outsiders are seeing it. It's exciting to be a Lions fan right now.
It is.
Now they've got to get the draft right, and they will.
Oh, yeah. Brad Holmes' draft record is impeccable at this point, and this is another one of those free agent signings that we are all excited about. My takeaway from what David Montgomery said is that he didn't have to go that far in that direction. He's a guy who's had 1,000 yards rushing. He's had 1,000 yards from scrimmage every single season he has been in the NFL. But in his press conference, he said he'd pass protect, which is obviously something that he's very, very good at. Yeah. He's going to be their best pass protector to go along with that offensive line, at least out of the backfield. Play on punt team, get Jared Goff, be Jared Goff's water boy. I'm not saying he would actually do it, but that's just how excited he is and how bought in he is to this culture. I mean, he's been with the Bears, and the Bears have been bad pretty much every single year that he's been there. They had one kind of fake playoff run in 2020, but other than that, they are perennial losers. They were a 3-win team last year. So David Montgomery is excited to be a part of this team, and he sounds like he will do anything. You don't have to say that. You can come in and say all the cliches, but this is a man who is ready to go and is ready to win, and this team is on an upward trajectory.
By the way, MSU, a 10-point win today over USC, so they advance to the next round. So congratulations.
Good for them. Big win for Michigan State. Yeah, I think, you look at Michigan State, they've played decent in the last week or so. This is a chance for them to kind of make some ground up. I mean, you look at them, they haven't advanced to the second week of the tournament since 2015, I believe. I mean, Tom Izzo's not getting any younger. I think this could be a run. You look at the field's wide open. We saw Princeton beat Arizona last night. Like, this is one of those situations where Tom Izzo, he's got that experience, and I think that experience can help him in a kind of a very weak field, if you will.
So far, a 13 has won Furman, a 15 has won in Princeton, and now a 14 in Kennesaw State is up 8 on number 3 Xavier.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
NCAA is not the same, man.
Oh, no. Michigan State, they did make a Final Four run in 2019. That was the one where they beat the Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Duke.
That was the one. I mean, they had one second-week performance since 2015.
Oh, yeah, that was the one before that. And you know who else is a fan of David Montgomery and what he could possibly bring?
Who's that?
Everybody's favorite coach, Dan Campbell. Listen to Dan Campbell talk about David Montgomery.
He breaks down the tape.
Yes,
here.
This is via Inside the Lions Den, Detroit Lions Twitter.
Look, he's a dynamic runner, and you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, he is a one-cut runner. He knows how to stretch the defense here, and when he puts his foot in the ground, he's gone. You know, they do a good job backside. They're pretty good with this. It's really a mid-zone type scheme, but they're forcing you to treat it like a wide, really a push set here, to where now the linebackers really want to go downhill. They think he's trying to get it outside, and then when he puts his foot in the ground, goodbye. So certainly tackling is going to be a big part of what we do. It always is defense, but I mean, you have to rally, and we got to have more than one to the ball carrier this week for sure. This run game is dangerous, and there again, it starts with him. They do a number of things that are in the gun, but also under center. There's plenty of this. They run a lot of gap scheme. They'll run zone scheme. They run RPO. But these running backs now, they both of them, but it starts with this guy. I mean, he's got great vision. He's strong. He's low to the ground. He's powerful, and he can break tackles. Population around the football.
How can you not be excited watching that film? How can you not be excited watching Dan Campbell almost his eyes light up and just light up over what they could do with David Montgomery?
How do you not?
How do you not, right? As the starting running back. I mean, this is potentially the best running back they've had in many, many years. A true RB1 type. And like I said before, this is the offensive line. This is the running scheme where David Montgomery can break out. He is a guy that you're not going to want to have to tackle him 15 to 20 times a game. He is a load. He is powerful. He is one cut. He doesn't run side to side. He just tries to hit the hole up the middle. And as I said before, I'm really excited about what David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift can do as a duo, because we're kind of getting a little bit of a smash and dash sort of vibe with them, and they both can catch the ball out of the backfield, and David Montgomery can pass protect. This is amazing.
The reason why Dan Campbell's so excited, Dan Campbell's an old school tight end. Dan Campbell's an old school tight end. He's a blocking tight end that can catch out of the backfield. He played alongside the offensive line for all his years of playing football. Offensive line, they want running backs that they can trust. When you put that film on, you see a running back that can break tackles. You see a running back that can make one move and go with that one move. You see a guy that knows how to hit the hole. You see a guy that has no problem dancing in between the tackles, not on the outside playing around. The linemen, they want runners that go in between tackles, runners that put one foot in the ground, get where you got to get. They want running backs that when it's 3rd and 2, they're not dancing in the backfield trying to come up with a home run. They're getting those 2 yards, maybe a third, and then if something opens up, continuing to do that. Linemen play harder for running backs when they trust running backs. When we're watching film on Mondays after a game, and the line can see what David Montgomery brings, what he does, how physical he plays, how he can make people miss, how their job can be even easier. Watch how much harder those offensive linemen block for David Montgomery on Sundays. It goes tick for tack when the line sees, you know what? Oh, and he picks up blitzes too. He'll be their best friend. He'll be their best friend, Sam.
Oh, absolutely. And Neil Rule, actually, on the previous show, Big D Energy, I got to credit him for this. He theorizes that the Detroit Lions rushing attack is going to be much, much better next year. He says top 7 in all of the NFL. I know that's a little bit aggressive, but last season, the overall strength of this offense was throwing the football. It was Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown when you look at the season in sort of a macro level. But having David Montgomery in the backfield, just a one-cut-and-go type of guy. Maz, is Neil Rule's prediction a little bit aggressive, or can they actually have an elite running offense next year?
I said it yesterday as well. I love their 2 backs. You got David Montgomery, and then you got DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Then you got Jackson in the back, and Craig Reynolds as well to spell them. Maybe a little special teams with them guys. That's a hell of a 1-2 punch. If they stay healthy, yes, they're top 7 running backs behind that offensive line, and with the threat of the pass. Come on, man, that's easy.
I mean, this is a really, really good running back room. I mean, we talk about, obviously, David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift, what they can do, but even Craig Reynolds, he's had an 100-yard rushing game in the NFL. And Justin Jackson, he's a guy.
Against Denver, 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then we got Justin Jackson, a guy who used to play with the Chargers and was sort of their 2nd or 3rd running back guy who could catch the ball in the backfield. And then with the Lions, when he was thrust into duty, he can do some great things.
One of the leading rushers of all time in Northwestern history.
Oh, that's right. Former Northwestern Wildcats. So, yeah, this rushing offense, I wouldn't say the sky's the limit, but it's going to be much better next year, I think.
It'll definitely be much better next year. You know, you're looking at what they were early on in the year. I mean, DeAndre Swift, if DeAndre Swift would have stayed healthy early on in the season, he was on his way to contend with Saquon Barkley. The problem was he could not stay healthy, and so he was coming in and out. Then he was trying to play. David Montgomery wants to play. David Montgomery is going to play 17 games, 16 at the least amount, and he's going to give you everything he has. Man, you're talking about what they're building, man, and I'm just excited to see Jamison Williams on one side, Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot, whoever they choose to make that 3rd wide receiver, whether it's DJ Chark, whether it's Jalen Hyatt, whether it's somebody you draft. and then David Montgomery in the backfield, and then DeAndre Swift as the special back. Ah, man.
I know.
The only problem is they both wear number 32.
They'll figure something
David
out.
Montgomery, you heard what he said. He's willing to do anything.
I know.
Yeah, he's just happy to be on the team that looks like they're going in the right direction.
He's willing to do anything, but if I'm DeAndre Swift, I'm giving 32 to David Montgomery because David Montgomery has more of a resume.
Nah.
All right.
That's Swift's number.
You only give numbers up to individuals that come over that are all pro, that are Pro Bowlers, that as soon as they he signed for $18 million. That's not enough for me to give up my number. If he came in at 3 for $47 million, here you go, brother.
No, that's fair. But hey, maybe David Montgomery, a Pro Bowl running back next year. We shall see. I don't know if I would bet my mortgage on that, but you know what? I think it is possible.
Just the garage.
Just the garage.
Just bet
yes,
the garage.
yes.
Not the mortgage, bet the garage.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we're going to move to the defensive side of the football. Another big name free agent, Cam Sutton, spoke with the Lions media today, and we are going to hear from him, talk about him. But first, I have to tell you about Guardian Alarm. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs, 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Give them a call at 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Call them at 1-800-STAY-OUT. Again, that's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm. All your protections.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites during Lent like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Go to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday night.
Tonight.
That is tonight. So get to Big Boy tonight and enjoy this. And welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. And there is a little bit of breaking news. Not really breaking news, but we heard it a little while ago. The Lions are re-signing Michael Badgley.
The money badger.
He came in and he sort of stabilized the position. He was 20 for 24 on field goals,
He's
pretty
just
good
okay.
percentage. He is just okay. I wonder if this takes them out of the Jake Moody sweepstakes.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, as a Michigan fan, he's the best Michigan kicker I've ever seen. It was very, very comforting having him there. So I thought maybe with the Lions, but you know what? I'm not too worried about it.
I think they got to upgrade the kicking game, Sam.
I would probably say so.
I really do.
He wasn't a liability, though. That's where we don't want. We don't want kickers who cost you games. I mean, look at even the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. It was Harrison Butker who hit a clutch 45-yard field goal to actually win the game. You need kickers. And Money Badger, he's fine. He's not terrible, but I would probably want to go after a Jake Moody. So there is another free agent that we are very, very excited about, and that is cornerback Cam Sutton. And he spoke to the media today. He is also very, very excited to be with the Detroit Lions.
What up, though, Lion Pride? I'm excited to get this journey started with you guys. It's going to be a special process. We're ready to do it. You know, we're moving in the right direction from top down. You know, I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to showcase what I can do for this city, for you guys, and just ball out. So let's do this thing together, and one pride. Let's do it.
That was via Inside the Lions Den and Detroit Lions Twitter. And Cameron Sutton, I think that this could be, I know we talked about it throughout the week, a game changer for the Detroit Lions. The cornerback position was one that was, I would say, weak. I mean, Jeff Okudah, he had good moments last season. He had that pick six against the Bears. He played a role in shutting down Justin Jefferson the first time they played the Vikings. But overall, you need to upgrade the position. Of course, Jerry Jacobs.
2 moments.
Jerry Jacobs was good for an undrafted free agent, but you don't want him to be a starter. But Cameron Sutton, I was doing a little bit of a deep dive. He only allowed a 44% completion percentage last season. That is an elite number, and the passer rating when targeted, 69.6, which is terrible. For comparison's sakes, Zach Wilson's was 72.8. So when you threw at Cameron Sutton's way, at least by these numbers, you were Zach Wilson. But
yeah.
And this guy, he's coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. All he knows is winning. His coach has been Mike Tomlin the whole time, and Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. And he sees the writing on the wall. He sees that the Lions are coming. He sees that he could be a missing piece in this defense, vastly improving, not being a liability. Maybe, dare I say, being top 25, top 20 in the NFL. And along with that, if that offense stands pat, that's all the Lions defense really has to do is be pretty good. And I think Cameron Sutton is a piece that can go a long way into helping improve this defense.
Yeah, the first thing I heard in that interview was, "What up, though?" Like if you're not from Detroit, you don't know even if you're not from Detroit, you know what up, though means. It's the inner city greeting. What up, though? Like the first time you hear him talk, he says, "What up, though?" He's trying to ingrain himself in the Detroit culture, and I 100% appreciate it. 44% completion rate is what he allowed last year. Look what division he's in. He's in the AFC North. You know who's in that division? Jamar Chase is in that division. T. Higgins is in that division. Tyler Boyd is in that division. Amari Cooper is in that division. Duvernay and Bateman, they played well at certain times last year and the year before. They're in that division. Where Hollywood Brown was in that division for the better part of early on in Cam Sutton's career. A lot of good receivers in that division. So the fact that he did that in that division says a lot about him. I'm excited. Man, it looks like he's ready to get boots on ground, and he's ready to ingratiate himself into what Detroit is building. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are very smart. The players they're going after, one, they're not necessarily expensive, but two, they're ready to come to work. They're ready to get boots on ground, and they're excited. They're coming out of situations that weren't the best, and they see Detroit as a situation going the right way.
He said the Lions were very aggressive going after him. They were one of the first teams to reach out to him. He felt good about it. That's why he's here, and he loves the coaching staff.
Yeah, and I want to address something in the chat really quick. It's Steve-O, baby. Sam, the Lions were the worst defense in the league last year, but by scoring, they were only bottom 5. And they started out historically bad, and then they made some improvements. I think scoring defense is more important than yards allowed. I just wanted to clear that up. Their defense as a whole was not very good. It was bad, but it did improve. And Cam Sutton, I think, is a guy that can make it improve even more. And we talk about Cam Sutton. He's another one that's excited. He says that it is gonna be fun to play in Detroit.
Obviously, I'm really excited for this opportunity. I'm so excited for this opportunity. I'm just obviously speaking from experience and just of things that have been my mode. You know what I mean? I've been able to again put me in this situation to be able to do this. For this organization, to be who I need to be who I need to be, for the guys and for this team, man. Like I said, I'm head over heels excited about that, and just as much as it's a challenge, you know what I mean. You like I said, you really embrace that. Like it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm not shying away from nothing that of an expectation here or anything that's necessarily needed from individual. And then we'll be able to come together.
He's got his Lions gear on already.
Absolutely.
He's got the throwback hat on, and he's got a new T-shirt on.
And that is a way to ingratiate yourself to the Detroit Lions media and fans. That was via Inside the Lions Den, Detroit Lions Twitter. And Cam Sutton, I like how he says it's going to be fun. If you're playing well defensively, if you are a part of a leader of a defense that is playing well, if you can be a guy that can bother a Justin Jefferson, say, a couple of times a year, or even like a DJ Moore who's now coming into the division, an up-and-coming Christian Watson for Green Bay, it's going to be a lot of fun because their defense is going to be better, and he is going to step right in, I believe, and be one of their top players. Certainly their top player in the secondary.
Yeah, he's coming from we just talked about yesterday wanting dogs. Like we talking about wanting dogs, wanting guys that can go out there and play balls to the wall, go out there and play for 60 minutes. You want guys that can go out there and make plays, guys that come from places. When you look at where he comes from being on the same defense, and I quote, TJ Watt. Reigning defensive, 2 years ago, defensive MVP. Minkah Fitzpatrick, arguably the best safety in the NFL. Now, You know, if I get with Flannel Sam, we might come up with 2 or 3 other names and get to battling. But in that same echelon, best safety in the league, you talk about Cam Hayward, one of the best interior linemen in the NFL. He comes from that defense. You know what it's like when you play on defenses like that? It's not nice. Like, they hold you accountable for everything.
Comes from the Steelers.
100%. They're going to hold you accountable for every play, every mistake, every missed opportunity, where you were supposed to be, being out of sync, being out of phase with a wide receiver. He comes from a coach expecting greatness out of him. That's something that Detroit Lions on that defense, that's something that they can see. They can see how he practices, how he watches film. They can see how when he's on the field on Sundays, they can see how he's playing, see how he's not messing up. He's not going to be the guy that grades at 77%. I don't want to be the guy that grades at 77%. That's how you start to build the right defense with the right players.
Sutton was a Steeler.
Yeah.
Mosley was a 49er.
Winners.
2 of the best defenses out there.
D'Amico Ryans.
I rest my case. Yeah. They got 2 winners that came here to Detroit, a perennial loser.
Yeah.
They're not going to come here just for the money. They have plenty of places to go. This is a place that free agents want to come to now, or it's going to be eventually.
Absolutely. And last season on the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that finished the year strong in order to get that winning record to keep Mike Tomlin's streak alive, Cam Sutton, at least in the second half of the season, was undoubtedly their number 1 corner. And you mentioned the guys that he played with, TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Cam Hayward. Those are guys that are gold jacket guys. Future Hall of Famers, no doubt about it. And TJ Watt in particular, he might go down as one of the all-time greats. So he has experience playing with good defenses and winning cultures on good teams. He doesn't know what losing is. Yeah. He has never experienced losing in his entire career in the NFL. And you know what else? I don't think he's going to experience it with the Lions, at least in the next couple of years. And I think he knows that. He wouldn't come to some team that was a bottom feeder. He wouldn't have come to them in free agency the last off season, coming off a 3-13-1 season. He wouldn't have wanted to play for Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn, but he wants to come to this team. This is a desirable location. When has that ever been? The Lions, as much as we hate to say it, are the worst franchise in NFL history, but they're finally. Hey, probably. Yeah. Honestly, yes. But they are finally turning the tide. It sounds harsh. It's true, but it shows how far that they've come as an organization, as a team, really fast, actually.
And this is why I wasn't like. This is why growing up I just wasn't
really fast. 60-something years.
Well, they went.
I'm joking.
This is why growing up I wasn't a Lions fan. This is why growing up in Detroit, it was easy. And my dad played for the Detroit Lions. People, my dad played for the Lions for 2 years. I saw it as a losing organization. I love Barry Sanders. I love Terman Moore. Like, there were players that I loved, but as a team, I was like, they go nowhere. They do nothing. In '91, I was every bit of 7. So I remember flashes and bits and pieces, but I don't remember the 13-3 run. I don't remember, beating the Cowboys and then getting to the NFC Championship and losing to the Reds. Now the Commanders. I don't remember that.
They were the Redskins.
Okay, the Redskins, exactly. Now the Commanders, but they were the Redskins. I don't remember that like that. What I remember is every Thanksgiving is going to be a loss, although Barry was going to have 180. Like, they're not going to get to, if they get to the playoffs, they're losing in the first round, whether it's the Redskins, whether it's the Jets, whoever it is, they're going to lose. I just never could be a Lions fan because I never, ever thought that they were serious, and I never, ever thought that they could do anything if they got into the playoffs. It's starting to change, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, even recently, the Lions made 3 sort of They had 3 first-round playoff exits during the Matthew Stafford era, and you never really thought, maybe besides 2014, that there was really any direction because they would always follow it up with a clunker.
So why are you guys even here? Why are you toying with the emotions of the Lions fan base?
I mean, the last one, they lost 26-6 at Seattle, a game that nobody thought they had any chance of winning, and that's not fun going into the playoffs thinking that you have no chance. But yeah, like you guys said, Cameron Sutton, he is going to be a difference maker for this team. And speaking of difference makers, we are not done with the Lions' new free agents because Emmanuel Mosley, another one who we may be about as important as Cam Sutton, maybe create a good defensive backfield. He also spoke to the media today, and we will hear from him. We'll talk about that. But first, I have to tell you about Custom Health Centers. The man who usually sits in this seat, Ryan Ermanni, has lost, I believe, 18 pounds via Custom Health Centers. He looks great. He looks like a new, different person walking around with a pep in his step, but they can help you too. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight loss affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Custom Health Centers is blessed to have had over 20,000 success stories. It has been their honor to help many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health. people like Detroit Lion Eddie Murray and Detroit Piston Rick Mahorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-THIN.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Of course, it is St. Patrick's Day. We are flying through the day. This is Braylon Edwards. We've got Tom Mazawey in the Maz chair, JB Smooth and Fletch on the ones and twos. And if you can't catch this show live, please be sure to check out the podcast. It's available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, all that good stuff. And while you're at the website, and check out their merch listings, check out replays of shows, and check out this live show where you can comment in the Woodward Sports chat. You got pretty much everything you could possibly want on woodwardsports.com. There is another cornerback signing that I think we are all very, very excited about, and that is Emmanuel Mosley. What Brad Holmes did this offseason is address one of the Lions' greatest needs and also get veterans, proven players. And Emmanuel Mosley, he's a guy who's played for some pretty good coaches, both head coaches and defensive coaches. But listen to what he said about Dan Campbell.
Fiery, man. I just love the energy, because that's how I am. Like, I'm a mellow guy, but on the field, I believe that I'm a fiery guy. Like, I love the energy that he brings. I just see the passion that he coaches with. And when his guys make plays, he's out there yelling with them on the field. I love that, and I just can't wait to be playing underneath that.
If this guy gets right, if he gets his knee right, he's a steal. This kid can play. And I've talked to my friends who are out there covering the 49ers. They love this guy. This guy plays bigger than his position. He can hit with the best of them. You got to see his highlight reel. This is a good signing, Bray.
Yeah, I looked at his highlight reel, and I also heard some of the stuff that D'Amico Ryan said once he signed with us as Detroit Lions. He said that's somebody that he wanted to go after with the Houston Texans, believed in that guy that much. I think he's going to be a really good pickup. I think I kind of early on, I was like, oh, man, you got a guy that's coming in on a prove-it deal and ACL, and to a certain extent, I still stand by that a little bit. But just listening and watching film on him, like, this is a guy. This is what I love, and I'll come back to him, is the even kill guys that Brad Holmes are going after. If you notice the guys that Brad Holmes are going after, the guys that are already a part of the Detroit Lions, what he's building, now the guys, they're even kill guys. They're not guys that are too high. They're not guys that are too low. They're not guys that are rah, 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 rah. They're guys that are even killing when they get on that game, when they get on that field. They turn into different players. They turn into different beasts. That's what it looks to me, that those are the type of guys he's going after. This guy, D'Amico Ryan said this is one of the players that he wanted to bring to the Houston Texans, but he's now a Detroit Lion. I'm excited. You heard him. He said, hey, look, I'm a mellow guy, but when I get on that field, I turn it up.
And Emmanuel Mosley, if he wouldn't have torn his ACL, I believe that he would have been knocking on the door of a Pro Bowl season, maybe at least borderline Pro Bowler.
Right there.
I mean, when you look at how he was graded last year with his play, it was very, very similar to a Cam Sutton. In the past 2 seasons, Emmanuel Mosley has allowed a passer rating of below 67, which 67 is awful, and it's great if you're a defender, and he hasn't given up a touchdown since 2020. I know that's a little bit inflated because he missed
most. Is that Sauce Gardner you talking about?
Right. He missed most of last season, and he also missed bits and pieces of the season before. But this is a good player. This is a guy that might be just as impactful on the other side of the defensive backfield as a Cam Sutton. And he came in on a prove-it deal. 1 year, $6 million. How can you not? And also, with what he said about Dan Campbell. As I said before, this guy played for some good coaches. He played for Kyle Shanahan, who is one of the best coaches in the NFL, and also defensive coaches. He played for DeMeco Ryans as his defensive coordinator. And before that, it was Robert Saleh, an excellent defensive coordinator. So this guy knows good coaches. And I really like that. And Maz, I know you'll agree with this. I love that he is so complimentary and so excited to play for a Dan Campbell who we have all grown to love, especially after what he did last year.
No doubt, man. I like these signings. I will say this. I go back, I look at the grades. Because you got ESPN grading them, Pro Football Focus. You got to pay for that one, by the way. But ESPN, what do you think they gave the Lions free agent class so far? A, to F?
Definitely nothing lower than a B+.
What do you say, Sam?
I would say about B+, B, something like that.
You ready?
Yeah.
They gave him a C.
Wow.
Anzalone. I told you, it's the Anzalone signing that gave him a C.
They gave him a C.
I guarantee you it's the Anzalone signing that has them down to a C.
So, I look at that, and it's because it's not a flashy signing. Now, we're going to talk about the remaining free agents that are out there. Most of the quarterbacks are gone. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. They have not signed a backup quarterback yet. And let me just say this.
Yep.
The remainers are very thin.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Side note, let's not forget that we did sign Dre Bly as our DB's coach. I can't wait to see these guys work with Dre Bly, one of UNC's finest Super Bowl winner with the St. Louis Rams and Detroit Lion Pro Bowler back in the early 2000s. So I can't wait to see them work with that. One of the biggest things I keep asking Flannel Sam, and I'm being patient because Brad Holmes has been so good in free agency, and I do see what the Lions are building, but one of the questions I keep on bringing up, I even asked Dave Burkett this, is being so chill and so reserved in free agency, is that something that's going to benefit or hurt the Lions? Because everybody's so excited about, we're saving money, and we're finding these hidden gems, and we're putting them with the Lions, and we're putting them with this team that we're seeing is built the right way. We're seeing is built going the right way. But other people around the league, analysts, pundits, etc., they view it as maybe a little too reserved. Flannel, what are your thoughts on that?
I could see both sides of the argument because to me, Cam Sutton, that was a signing that
was a damn good one.
That was, I wouldn't say a splash, but when you look at what I was all in on getting Jalen Ramsey, but when you see what he commanded, I was even into getting a James Bradbury or a Jamel Dean, but when I saw what Cam Sutton got, what we signed him for, I was like, okay, that's great. The Alex Anzalone one, that was, I wouldn't say puzzling because I get why they did it. It was a good value, especially when you see what a Tremaine Edmonds got. But I think the key to it all is next season. I want to see with the more cap space what Brad Holmes does. And hell, he might not even be done. But it's definitely, I don't think it's a question mark because even on the prove-it deals that he's gotten before, like a DJ Chark or a Deshaun Elliott or even bringing in guys like Kaminsky and Buggs who were afterthoughts, but then they were re-signed because of their play last year. I'm cool with everything that Brad Holmes has done so far, and I still trust him, although he hasn't made the big splash yet.
Right, and I think you're right. We do need you. Yeah, he does need us to trust him, and we just want the big splash. You know what it is, like JB Fletch, like Flannel. It's like playing Madden. Like when you're playing Madden as a kid, you're 12 years old, and they introduce you to free agency. You're trying to get everybody with a big name. You're looking at you like, how much money do I have? What, $7 million? All right, cool. Give me Jerry Rice, give me T.O., give me Randy Moss, give me Deion, let me get Charles Woodson. You just can't get all the free agents that you want to. You know what I'm saying? This is not Madden, although with these fake cap numbers, you believe it is. You can't get all the free agents you want. You can't get the free agents all the time to make the big splash because sometimes there's a reason why you can't get the Bobby Wagners. There's a reason why he's looking at like, I don't know if I want the Von Millers last year, etc. So I understand that. I just want to make sure we're not too frugal. We're not too reserved. We're not too on the 3-13-1, which we see progressing. And now we're getting all those guys back. But I'm being reserved. I take it back. But I'm being patient because there's still a lot of time left and they do have the draft. So I'm being patient. But I'm telling you, I'm not the only one that sees it now.
Absolutely. Fletch, you got something?
Yeah, I think that, I agree with Bray. I think that it's difficult with the free agency to, you're not going to get everybody that you want. But I think we also have to remember, this is the first time that we're seeing Brad Holmes attack free agency. We've seen him go in late rounds in the draft and pick up these no-name players and do something with them. We're seeing James Houston come out and do amazing things on that defensive line.
Yeah.
What's to say that these lower level players that aren't these big name free agents aren't going to come out here and do insane things in that backfield?
Yeah, no. JB, I want to get your thoughts on
Fletch.
that.
Fletch
on that
dropping
too.
some gems on us.
Absolutely. JB, I know that we all are high on the free agency signings so far, or at least maybe a tempered excitement, but ESPN wasn't so kind. JB, what would you grade the Lions free agency so far?
It's definitely a B. I think Braylon was right on with that Alex Anzalone thing. Like, it's not the flashiest signing, but it's someone that the Lions need. They can depend on. They see that in the future they can count on this guy, hopefully for a long term. But still, I believe it's a B. I don't know what more else Brad Holmes is thinking about doing going further, but I'm fully behind him. I fully trust in whoever he decides to sign and pick up in his next few days.
That's the good thing about it, and I will say it is whether it's ESPN, Pro Football Focus, the 33rd team, which we love, by the way, shout out to our boy, Ari Mayroff, whatever it is, Brad Holmes is like, I don't give a F. Like, I don't care. Like, Brad Holmes is not out here for ESPN. Brad Holmes is not out here for PFF. He's not out here for the 33rd team. He's not out here for the list of analytic sites. Brad Holmes is out here for one thing, and that's the Detroit Lions, the city of Detroit, the people that play for the Detroit Lions, the people that work for the Detroit Lions, and the people that cheer for the Detroit Lions. That is the one thing I can give him. He's not worried about what people are doing, and now he's not making picks based on what people want. He's told us that how many times? That he doesn't care about other people. He's going to do it the right way. That's the one thing I do like. It has been consistent, so that's why I'm always like, when you really want to be like, oh, you did. Be patient.
Yeah.
I'll be patient.
Yeah, I mean, we all know it's tempting to kind of, especially in the Madden generation, to sort of be like, oh, I want this guy, I want this guy, but there isn't an unlimited supply of cap money. Although it seems like there is sometimes. There's actually many ways you can maneuver it, and you don't want to be too far into those weeds. But yet, you mentioned it. Brad Holmes, he hasn't done anything that would make you scratch your head, anything that I think is a risk of a bad contract, which is, hey, what did Bob Quinn do? He got Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers. Bad contracts, contracts that hurt this team in the beginning of Brad Holmes' tenure. And I don't see that from Brad Holmes. I see calculated signings, like Emmanuel Mosley, for example. I think that'll turn out to be a great one. I think that he can be a guy that plays somewhat to borderline Pro Bowl level. Cam Sutton, absolutely. Alex Anzalone, I think Alex Anzalone in conjunction with everything else. The fact that they brought in Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley, the fact that they re-signed Kaminsky in Bugs. Maybe Anzalone is that value pick, and maybe it shows that they're going to address the linebacking position in the draft. I think that that's kind of what that Alex Anzalone signing speaks to.
Oh, 100%. Like, you signed Alex Anzalone, and we talked about it. The reason, I mean, I wasn't necessarily happy with the signing, but I understood it from the standpoint. Didn't pay him a lot of money. So what that means is we want a guy that can be our starting linebacker for this year. We saw what he did last year, 100-plus tackles, got better as the year went on, became a leader in that locker room per se, and he can raise the young linebacker that we're going to draft at 48. Because you can't tell me they're not drafting a linebacker at 48. I believe that's the spot, because that's where the majority of the top-tier rated linebackers in this class, they're rated in that pick 30 to pick 48. Mm-hmm. Like, that's where those guys are rated. So I think they're going to draft one, and they'll raise him through the season. But Alex Anzalone has at least earned himself the right to be able to train his replacement, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, and he had a good season last year. We can't deny that. What Alex Anzalone proved is that he's not trash. He's not a guy that shouldn't be a starting linebacker. He's a guy that can be a starting linebacker on certain linebacking cores, and I got to give him credit. I think you and I were two of the loudest people saying, like, Alex Anzalone, this guy's terrible. Yeah. He wasn't terrible last year. He earned that contract that he got, and I hope it plays out, because it was a good value, especially when you consider what Tremaine Edmonds got, like an ungodly amount of money.
Early on, they took advantage of him, though.
that is
in coverage. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Minnesota Vikings. Oh man, they abused him in the flats.
Oh yeah. Even at the beginning of this year, it's like, oh my God, why is this guy our starting linebacker? He's no good. But you know what? He improved as the season goes on, and I don't think any of us think that he is the linebacker of the future, but he's serviceable enough. Coming up next, Maz, would you like to go around the NFL?
I do. I want to go around the did you guys show the remaining free agents?
You know what? We can do that next segment.
Yeah, I want to show you that. I want to go there's still a lot of good guys out there. And Devin Bush, well, he's not there anymore.
No, I would love to get into that. That's one of my favorite things to do. But first, I have to tell you about Fairway Packing. Looking for a way to elevate dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company, family owned and operated since 1956. Try their burrata blend burgers, award-winning shophouse steaks, or impress your friends with dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak. See why the top chefs in the country choose Fairway. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods or order online to ship anywhere. Visit fairwaypacking.com for more details. Fairway Packing Company, sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Look, if you need commercial insurance, you know who to go to. You got to go to Swiss. My man Mark has been telling us time and time again how much work they put in for people. Everybody loves the work that they do. So you should want to work with them as well. SwissInsuranceGroup.com.
Hour 2 on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I am Flannel Sam filling in for Ryan Ermanni. We got Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, JB Smooth, and Fletch on the 1s and 2s. So NFL free agency, like we've said all week, it is one of the most exciting times in all of the NFL, and you've seen a lot of signings. You've seen the Lions, our team, make some very impactful ones, or at least signings that we think are going to be impactful, but there are a lot of available free agents still out there that have intriguing possibilities of where they could go. We got CJ Gardner-Johnson, Odell Beckham, Dalton Schultz, Ben Jones, Marcus Peters, Frank Clark, Yannick Ngakoue. I'm looking at out of all the ones that are intriguing to me, I would probably say a CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Some has boy.
Yeah, no, I would love to have him at
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark is interesting. He's third all time in sacks in the postseason, which is incredible. A Michigan man as well. I look at that list. I would probably say that CJ Gardner-Johnson is the one that looks the most intriguing. Who knows? I don't know if the Lions could necessarily afford him, but man, if you put CJ Gardner-Johnson back there along with Tracy Walker coming back, Kirby Joseph, that would be a pretty effective three-headed monster at safety. None of the other ones, though, they don't intrigue me as much.
Why hasn't the Dallas Cowboys re-signed Dalton Schultz yet?
That's a good question.
Like, you're talking about a guy in Dak Prescott. They're not getting rid of Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones likes to die on the grave with his players, and I love that about him. Hey, you know what makes him a great owner? As a fan point of view, but if I was Dallas Cowboys, it would drive me insane. But you're talking about a guy in Dak Prescott that struggles. Like, whether he struggles in the big game, he struggles in the playoff, he struggles. The easiest way for a quarterback not to struggle is to have a tight end you trust. Dalton Schultz is a guy that you can trust. I don't understand, especially with you not having your other wide receiver, unless they're making room for DeAndre Hopkins. But you're still going to need a wideout. Dalton Schultz should be still with the Dallas Cowboys. I wouldn't peg him to get past the Cowboys. Just me.
If you were the Lions, would you like to sign a tight end like that? Or more than likely than not, they already re-signed,
Zylstra,
Brock Wright,
Brock
Zylstra,
Wright,
and they got James Mitchell on a rookie deal. I'm just throwing it out there.
Right.
That's a very good tight end.
He's a damn good tight end. I think he's still young, too. Like, he has a lot of tread left in that tire. I just don't think the Detroit Lions need a tight end. And this is why. Zylstra was a tight end. He was a touchdown scoring machine when they threw to him in the red zone. Brock Wright, we saw him make plays, as well as James Mitchell.
Made the biggest play against the Jets.
100%. Fourth down. And he gets the 50-yard touchdown that actually wins the game for him. But with James Mitchell, we don't know what we're getting out of him. He's still a young guy. He's a rookie guy. He scored a touchdown in his first game last year. So So I think they're fine at the tight end position. Got to shore up the wide receiver position for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz, I agree with you. He's a guy that was Dak Prescott's safety blanket. Yeah. I thought that they would re-sign him. I thought that maybe they would franchise him, but he is still available. I mean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, like I said, he's coming off his best season. Odell Beckham Jr. didn't play last year, which was surprising considering he was very, very impactful on that Rams Super Bowl
I know why
run.
He's on there. That's because he told everybody he wants $20 million.
Well, good
Ain't
luck.
Nobody signed him at $20 million.
Good luck with that. Maybe Odell Beckham via
I use aim for a fact,
circa 2015.
I thought he was going to be a Giant.
20
they signed like 5 wide receivers besides him.
Because the Giants, if I'm Brian Daboll, like let's just for 2 seconds talk about that. If I'm Brian Daboll, I'm not bringing Odell Beckham back. And the reason why is this: look, Odell won a Super Bowl. If I'm Brian Daboll, I saw the man that he became from New York to Cleveland to the Rams. I think he's an excellent player. I think he's in a great position right now as a veteran player. With all that being said, I'm not bringing back the past to the New York Giants. Just like we talk about SOL versus BNL.
Yeah.
With Brian Daboll is building it for your New York Giants. He's building something new, something special. You don't want to bring a relic from the past in the era where they were iffy and choppy. And also, you know what the first thing they're going to do in the New York Giants is they're going to show a picture of that boat trip. That's the picture you still hate.
I do.
They're going to show that boat trip, and everybody's like, no, not that. So I understand why Odell Beckham is not a New York Giant.
They resigned Slayton. They brought in Paris Campbell from the Colts. A couple other secondary wide receivers.
Not spending money. Same thing the Detroit Lions doing, and not spending that money. Paris Campbell's a guy that still runs 4.3
And the biggest
but
signing
they made
of
a
all,
bad mistake.
What they do?
They gave your team.
Saquon.
They gave your team, Sam, their number
Tony.
1 receiver.
Oh yeah,
and got a number 1 for him.
Yeah,
did they?
They got a number 1 for him, or was it? It was a 1, or I think they got a 1.
God, I don't remember the details of that trade, but Kadarius Toney,
sure it was
I thought that he was going to be great for the Giants, but he ended up being impactful at least for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a couple other free agents that are still out there that I think are very, very intriguing. The most intriguing to me, look at the one at the top of the list. You got Bobby Wagner, you have DJ Chark, who there have been talks that maybe he might re-sign with the Lions, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, like I said before, Leonard Floyd.
No, I got it.
Jadeveon Clowney, Taylor Lewan. But to me, Jadeveon Clowney, a guy that I've been higher on than most people. He's had some good years in the NFL. I won't tolerate any Jadeveon Clowney slander. But anywho, right now, Bobby Wagner is the one.
You said no slander? No Jadeveon Clowney slander?
I like Jadeveon Clowney.
Has he lived up to what he was supposed to be?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm not one of those haters, because you can arguably say I didn't live up to what I was supposed to be in the NFL. I would disagree, but you can say that and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think he's had a good career.
Yeah.
I think he's had a good career. He's found a way to become the number 2 pass rusher on every team he's played on, and number 1 with the Texans for a couple years, including when Mario was there. But I just thought, I watched that game, South Carolina, Michigan, the infamous hit in the backfield. I said, man, this guy is going to be freaking amazing. I was expecting some, I don't know.
He was one of the best college defensive players I've ever seen.
Ever.
And side note, not to digress too much, but that was one of the few plays as a Michigan fan where I watched that and I was excited. Yeah. I was almost rooting for that play to happen because he just hits Vincent Smith. Vincent Smith's helmet goes flying. He picks the ball up. He kind of does that pose. It was just the epitome of badass. I was super happy about that. But
I was too. I was mad he didn't pick the ball up and score.
Oh,
because he grabbed it with one hand and was about to get in there. He tackled. I was like, oh, it was almost great.
That was just an all-time moment. When I look at that list, this is me as a Lions fan. Even though the Lions re-signed Alex Anzalone, I want them so bad. I would give anything for them to go after Bobby Wagner and kick the tires because he's still great. He had one of his best seasons last year. His career high in sacks last season. Like one of the top interception seasons and tackles for loss seasons. He was Pro Football Focus's #1 late-rated linebacker, and he is still out there. And they have the money to do it. And even if they don't, they could cut Vaitai and Okwara and free up the money. Yeah. What say you about Bobby Wagner?
So I love Bobby Wagner. I was actually in Seattle when he was drafted in 2012. So I've known him since day one. Great pickup, man. I was lobbying for Bobby last year. Like I won him last year. He signs that 1-year deal. He signs a deal with the Los Angeles Rams, and then now he frees up again. And I want him. But at the same time, I do understand how he may not be a Detroit Lion or how they may have not come to terms. Detroit probably has gone after him, or they've made an attempt, or maybe they have. Maybe I'm just throwing it out there. But if you're Bobby Wagner, it's not Detroit's fault what's going on. If you're Bobby Wagner, where'd you come from? Seattle. all you know is success. The 1 year you leave Seattle, you go to the Rams fall apart. You're now Bobby Wagner. You know what you're thinking? All right, not getting any younger. Like, hitting these big tight ends, hitting these linemen, hitting these running backs, hitting these wide receivers is taking a toll on my body. Where can I go to have the biggest presence and win? Like, where can I go have the biggest presence and win a good situation? And I think that's how Bobby is looking at his career now. He's not looking at it like, I can go to Detroit. Detroit's a pretty good team, and they're coming up. Bobby's like, look, I probably got, 3 years at this? At the linebacker position?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2, 3. Well, especially if you want to walk out the way that you are now. He's got 2-3 years. He's looking at Dallas. Yeah. He's looking at Kansas City. He's looking at Buffalo.
Yes.
Like, he's looking at places like that are already on. He's looking at Minnesota.
Whoever gets him is going to be lucky.
He's looking at Minnesota. Minnesota last year, 13-4, 11-0 on one-score game. So he's looking at a team like that. We're that next tier down, and I think he's a little old for that.
Yeah,
I would love him though.
Oh my God! You mentioned Dallas or Kansas City. Imagine Bobby Wagner on that Dallas defense next to Micah Parsons with Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore in the back.
Yeah.
They
signed Vander back though, right?
And then with the Kansas City Chiefs, just
him and Bolton.
I know. Oh my goodness, Nick Bolton, one of the best young linebackers in the NFL, and Bobby Wagner. Just that would be an embarrassment of riches. I don't know if either of them can afford it. I'm just thinking about that. Just imagining the possibilities. Maz, are you on the Bobby Wagner to the Lions train?
I've always been, but it's not happening. We got Alex Anzalone. So let's turn the page.
Gotta love mad sarcasm.
It's like you ask Bob, like, hey, can we get Bobby Wagner? It's like, no, we got Alex Anzalone at home.
That's it.
It's like, Mom, can I have McDonald's? No, I'll make you a hamburger. It'll be great. It's like the Eddie Murphy delirious. Like, I'll make you a hamburger.
Mom, can I
better than McDonald's? What? Better than McDonald's? It ain't be better than McDonald's.
Can I have these Fruit Loops? No, you're getting those Kroger O's.
You get the Kroger O's.
Kroger O's. No Fruit Loops for you.
Let me go around the room really quick. I'll start with you, JB. Does DJ Chark re-sign with the Lions, yes or no?
Signs are pointing that he might come back to Detroit. I don't know how his Carolina trip went, but who knows? I would like to see him back here. I think he's definitely a receiver that Goff has had some connections with, especially later on in the season once he got healthy. So I would love to see him back here, but then again, I don't know. You could jump to Carolina. As Braylon, I believe you said it yesterday, he could go there and be wide receiver 1. So who wouldn't want to be wide receiver 1?
Yeah, you definitely he can go down there. I thought could be wide receiver 1. I don't know how the talks got. We don't have the insight on that, but I was thinking DJ Chark, you go down right now, you're wide receiver 1. Whoever quarterback they draft, like they're gonna mold this guy around you, and that's one of the little hidden things. It's one of the tricks of the trade. When you become like the premier target of a rookie quarterback, or you become the guy that you go to lunch with him, you go to dinner with him, you eat with him, you watch film with him, like this becomes your guy. This is how you stay on teams. Like this is how you stay on teams. This is how quarterbacks like, no, not that guy. It's like Josh Reynolds. No. You can bring these other receivers in, but just make sure Josh has a spot somewhere eventually. But DJ Chark to Carolina could be a thing. But also, if you're DJ Chark, you might have went down to Carolina. You might have interviewed with Frank Wright. You might have interviewed with everything that they had going. You might, oh man, this is nice. You know, weather's a little better, but dang, they building something special up there in Detroit. What if Detroit wins the North this year? What if Detroit gets to the NFC Championship this year? Like, what if Detroit continues on the road that they started when I was there, and I'm not a part of that? The grass isn't always greener on the other side, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's
not always greener on the other side.
I think he's back.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he want to be back? He's the perfect receiver for this offense.
Being receiver 1 will be the only reason I would see him not coming back, is them promising him that, hey, you're receiver 1. If you go back to Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get his 112 catches. Jamison Williams this year, Amon-Ra this year probably get 85. Jamison Williams will probably get 85. Where's your catches at, DJ? That's what the Carolina Panthers are telling him.
They'll give him 10 or 11 million to come back.
It's 10 or 11 million. I'm warming up to the idea of DJ Chark coming back, but like you said, Braylon, I want Jamison Williams to break out so bad. If DJ Chark can sort of accept a more limited role, and because he is a big body wide receiver, he is valuable. You saw it at the end of the season. If they can create something with DJ Chark, Jamison Williams, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, that would obviously be great for the team. I'm warming up to the idea. I'm down for it.
Just give him another one of those deals, like the number one deal I've seen all year. Like everyone's getting this deal, man. 3 years, $33 million. Yeah. That is the deal I have seen the most this year. Just give him one of those. 3 years, $33 million, make 22 of it guaranteed and get the ball rolling. It's a 2-year deal, essentially.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that at all. 3 years for 33 for a guy like DJ Chark. Yeah. He's obviously become a fan favorite, and he's someone we like. So if the DJ Chark fans, if they lose DJ Chark, if the Lions lose DJ Chark, and they need someone to call about longing for DJ Chark, who would they go for, Braylon?
Hey man, if you get a little pressed that DJ Chark doesn't sign with you, I got the place for you to go.
Hey, just a side note. Our guy Jeff Risdon from Lions Wire, Jeff's one of our guys. He came out and he said, they interviewed Jamal Williams when he went to New Orleans. They asked him about the Lions deal. His quote is, "Well, the offer they gave me was, I felt it was disrespectful. They showed me they really didn't want me to be there like that. But all love for Detroit. Like, I know my teammates, everyone there at the Lions. You got love for me and all. At the same time, we couldn't come to terms. It's just funny, that's all." So Jeff Risdon reporting, it's out of the cat's mouth here. Yeah. Jamal Williams said the Lions lowballed him.
I think what's going to happen, now I get back to the SMA read, sorry about that, Fletch. I think what's going to ultimately happen is they're going to realize that the Lions did lowball him. Like, I think that's what's going to come. I think we're trying to create the narrative that it was the same, and the Lions want that to be the narrative, but they probably lowballed him, and it is what it is, and he went to separate. Things happen. Now we got David Montgomery. Now, can I read the SMA read?
Do you know I didn't even know you were reading the SMA read?
I know you did.
I'm sorry.
No,
I was locked in on Jeff Risdon's news. I am so sorry.
Matt, you're my guy.
I know, but I shouldn't have done that.
Now I'm going to the Sports MA and get some help because now
I need it too.
I'm messing with you, man. Look, but Sean Jordan does an amazing job with SMA Sports Marketing Agency. If you have questions about mental health or substance abuse, it's very private. It's very discretion at your own. Very discreet. The discretion is at your own rate. TheSportsMA.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports is brought to you by Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. Check out their food trucks rolling around the city offering the tastiest lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and more. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and search locations to find the Detroit schedule or download the app to order ahead and earn points. It's Cousins Maine Lobster. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day, March 17th on a Friday. I know I keep forgetting, but then I remember, I look at myself in the camera and I'm wearing a green flannel, which is very, very rare for me because, it represents Sparty on most days. But you know what? I don't want to get pinched. I don't want random people to just bust my balls about, oh, you're not wearing green. So I decided to wear it. But I'm here with Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, JB Smoove, and Fletch. And if you can't watch this show live, please be sure to check out the podcast. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and check out woodwardsports.com. Look at some of their merch, watch some of their live shows, or some of their replays. It's got everything you could possibly want. Like I keep saying, free agency, signings, all of that. It is the gift that keeps on giving. Maz, would you like to go around the NFL?
I'm wearing green for a reason. New York Jets, of course, and guess what?
Aaron Rodgers.
Packers and Jets, we keep talking about it, but it looks like they're even further apart as the days go on to get this deal done for Aaron Rodgers.
Here's a question, and I'm gonna take it outside the realm of them back and forth, and this is where it was, and this is where it is, and him retiring, and him talking about the 90% to 10%. First of all, whenever I say 90% to anything, Maz, JB, Fletch, Flannel. Like if I say 90-10, I'm only saying 90-10 because I've already decided that the 90 is true. Like when I say 90-10, I've already decided that I'm going towards the 90. Like I'm never saying 90-10, and there's a chance for that 10. But with that being said, here we go. Aaron Rodgers retires today, Maz and Flannel. What's his legacy? And the reason why I ask this question is because sometimes when people retire, like the legacy, you start to look at it and you start to break it down, and then it's not as good as it was or how you remembered it when they were still playing. And then sometimes when people retire, they become better when you look at their legacy. Case in point, Steve Young. Steve Young's legacy, once he retired, it got much better than when he was playing. You look at Ben Roethlisberger. He's a guy that's like, I mean, you know, number one defense every freaking year. Like, did he really do anything? Best wide receiver. Where's Aaron Rodgers' legacy right now for you, Flannel, if he retires today?
If he retires today, I would say that he is, without a doubt, a top 10 all-time quarterback. I would say the best regular season quarterback ever. He obviously had some underachievements in the postseason.
That's Peyton Manning, by the way.
I mean, it's either Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Those are the two that you talk about, because Peyton Manning would obviously be up there with his 5 MVPs, touchdown record, all kinds of accolades. Aaron Rodgers, to me, his legacy as an all-time great is set. I would like for him to get another ring, but I keep having to tell people this. He has not been a bad postseason quarterback. He's had moments where he's come up small in the 2021 season in those playoffs, only scoring 10 points against the Jimmy G led 49ers. That was bad. That was a missed opportunity. And even last year, only scoring 16 against the Lions when a win would have got them in. But he has 45 touchdowns and 13 interceptions in his playoff career. He is an all-time great. And I don't know if there's anything he can do to supplement it besides maybe winning another MVP or a Super Bowl. I think that would do it. But his legacy, and I know, Maz, you're a big Aaron Rodgers fan. Top 10, top 5 all-time already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Aaron Rodgers, top 5 in your opinion, all time?
Top 10.
Top 10? Okay.
Top 10.
So his legacy, let's say he retires now, and let's say we're revisiting this in 10 years.
It sucks that he only won one Super Bowl.
His legacy won't take a hit to you?
Yeah, it takes a little bit of a hit.
Okay, that's fair.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, winning. The funny thing.
He's got to win another one to really vault himself up there. But let's face it, the guy's been a phenomenal quarterback. 2 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl. Could have been better. He's a jackass. No one likes him. He's still a hell of a talent, and he was in Braylon's class.
Yes.
What do you want me to tell you?
Hey, don't shortchange him, Maz. 4 MVPs. I think
4,
you said
I'm
2.
sorry.
Yes,
4
4 MVPs.
Back to back last time. This is how I view Aaron Rodgers. This is how I look at it. I felt like early on they gave him too much credit right away as being the best quarterback ever. I think he's been riding the best quarterback, and then it got to the point where Tom Brady started winning Super Bowls again, and it was like, damn, we can't call him the best quarterback. Oh, he's the best thrower of the football ever.
Yeah.
He's the best football talent ever to play the game. I'm like, I can argue that too. My thing was he's a damn good quarterback. He's in my class, represents the class 2005. He's got the last laugh because I tell you all the time, I cracked that joke how he introduced himself, the number 1 overall pick, and he wasn't. Well, me and Alex are both like, he got us back in the end.
Yeah.
So he had an amazing career.
He's still playing.
An amazing career, but when you just look at, he won that Super Bowl 2010. In the last, I mean, how many playoff wins does he have this decade?
Not a lot.
3?
Yeah, he's ever since then. I think he's had probably 7 or something like that. I don't know for sure.
They've always had a bye.
They've
always had a first round bye.
It's like Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like, remember when Brett Favre was playing? He's the greatest quarterback ever. He's going to be the greatest quarterback ever. When Brett Favre retired, you start chinking in the armor. Oh, threw too many interceptions. The Raging Cajun. Like, played with all those great offensive minds, but yet and still, he still was a gunslinger. You started breaking him down. He went from the greatest ever to, he's not better than Joe Montana. He's not better than John Elway, who beat him in the Super Bowl. Oh, he's not better than this guy. He's not better than Peyton. He's not better than Tom. Slowly but surely, like,
he drops.
Like Brett Favre's out of the top 10 almost.
Yeah.
I think where Aaron Rodgers, like, it's a situation. There's tiers. I put Aaron Rodgers in the Marino tier.
Okay.
And I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Dan Marino is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. In fact, if Dan Marino would have won 2 Super Bowls, he would be called the best quarterback of all time.
Oh, he would certainly be.
He
right
was
up there.
the greatest thrower of a football.
And that's where I say that's
Hands
up for debate.
down.
Okay.
Had the
I
greatest,
give you guys that.
He had the greatest season in NFL history,
His
too.
second year.
Considering it was 1984, he broke the touchdown pass record by 12.
5,000
The
yards.
previous record was 36.
With Don Shula, who runs the ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mercury Morris.
No, you mentioned something about Brett Favre that I thought was interesting. Both Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers have something in common.
New York Jets.
Hey, you know what? That is probably imminent. Brett Favre, during his 3 consecutive MVP stretch, he was on the trajectory to being the greatest quarterback of all time, because one of those seasons ended with a Super Bowl win. But in his last 10 seasons or so, there was a lot of disappointment. His touchdown to interception ratio in the playoffs in his last 10 seasons was 21-21. Not very good. And with Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't necessarily that his play went down. He won a Super Bowl, and then the next season he had that 45 touchdown, 6 interception regular season, but then they got blown out by the Giants at home in the first round, and he's never won a Super Bowl since. He's a better quarterback. His stats are a lot better, but you thought, oh, these guys are going to be the best quarterback ever, and it just, they never got a second one.
I think in an era where we live in, where championships matter. Like, if we were having this conversation, if Aaron Rodgers played in the 80s and would have had one Super Bowl, like, we can argue he's the best of all time, and there wouldn't even have been batting an eye. No one would have been like, nah, blah, blah, blah. But it's a different era. Championships matter. When we talk about basketball, you talk about LeBron versus Jordan, championships matter. You talk about Kobe versus Jordan. You talk about Bill Russell versus Jordan. Championships matter. You talk about football. I said Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is already the greatest quarterback of all time. No, but he only has 2 wins. Tom Brady has 70 million. Joe Montana has 4. Championship numbers matter. And I think when you look at one, Tom, you've been here a long time. One of my favorite songs ever. 1 is the loneliest number.
Absolutely.
1 is the loneliest number. And 1, anybody can get 1. It's 2 and 3 where you know that it's the truth.
3 Dog Night.
Yep.
There you go.
And that is why Patrick Mahomes getting ring number 2 and Super Bowl MVP number 2 was so huge. As a Patrick Mahomes super fan, I can kind of relax a little bit. He is already a made man. He's already top 3 of all time, in my opinion. I mean, and with a couple more Super Bowls and a couple more great seasons, you could talk about him as maybe the consensus GOAT. I think he is on that trajectory. When we come back, we're going to talk more about these NFL topics because it's just so much fun and there are so many of them. But first, JB, if I have to go loosen up my arm, where do I go?
Oh, I've got the place for you. It's the Bowling Warehouse in Hamtramck. It's home to the original football bowling game. 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play, and $120 lane reservations for you and up to 10 people. Not to mention they also have that $2 mystery beer machine and also the fully loaded bar. Get your fold on today. Check them out online at thefowlingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever with tons of equipment, a full body workout in that 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. But the best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10 a month. Your fitness is essential and a key part of your physical and mental well-being. Join Planet Fitness in Club today, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
You know, JB, I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed with the enthusiasm in which you do those reads. It's like a breath of fresh air on a day. But you know what? I'm already having a lot of fun because I'm on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and I am replacing Ryan Ermanni.
AKA Final Word. The final word.
The final word. It's. Everyone was so proud of me.
Everyone's been on the final word except D-Mac.
I know. You got to get D-Mac on.
Oh, that's true.
Got to get D-Mac on.
The professional athlete show.
Gotta
That would be.
Shout out to my big brother.
Yeah, we should do that.
I would love to have my big brother on the show. That'd be fun.
Show.
Then we could talk. We talk some Red Wings.
We got one Monday.
Oh yeah,
Lindsey Hunter coming.
Lindsey Hunter.
Put Lindsey and D-Mac on the same desk.
That would be a lot of fun. And put me in the sound booth so I can fight with both of them, because it always happens. Whenever Lindsey Hunter is here, there always turns into an argument with me. But that
put me at home so I can watch. Take a day off.
grab your popcorn, right?
Tell me.
But yeah, Maz, we've got more great NFL topics. Let's go. Let's continue to go around this wonderful NFL.
Listen, guys, I got the story for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Had the Jets and Aaron Rodgers not come to an agreement, did you know that the Los Angeles Rams were ready to offer Matthew Stafford up for trade to the Jets as Plan B?
Oh, man.
How about that?
What would
Matt Stafford, too, the New York Jets is Plan B.
First of all, as a Jet fan, I'm speaking first.
Okay. So
I would have taken this in a second.
Jets player, but okay.
Go ahead.
I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Are you taking it in a second?
I'm done.
What's the tag? Like, it always comes down to what am I giving up as a New York Jets to acquire Matt Stafford?
Probably the same package. That
2 1s?
No.
No
way.
I'm not giving up a first rounder for Matt Stafford.
There wouldn't have been a first rounder.
So maybe a 2 2s or 3 2s? I give you 3 2s. I give you 3 2s for Matt Stafford. If I'm the New York Jets, I give 3 2s.
But isn't this intriguing?
Oh, absolutely, it's intriguing.
It is and it isn't. It is. I guess it is, and the reason why I guess it is because you look at what the Rams' defense was when they won the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald's on that defense. Von Miller's on that defense. You look at Leonard Floyd. You look at Jalen Ramsey. You look how good that defense was. You look at that Jets defense. I mean, you got Sauce Gardner. You got Quentin Williams. You got Kazir White. Like, you got some players. C.J. Mosley. TJ Mosley. Excuse me. You got players on that team, on that defense. Offensively, Cooper Kupp. I mean, you got Garrett Wilson, running backs. Well, you got Breece Hall, who's much better than Cam Akers, and he came back late. So it's a very comparable team to the one that he won a Super Bowl with. I just think they're much younger. And I don't know if a broken Matt Stafford can fix me with the New York Jets. And I understand he'll be the biggest name that you've had since Joe Namath. But I wouldn't do it as a Jets former player and a fan. I'm not doing it for Matt Stafford.
And in a vacuum, it definitely is extremely intriguing. When we talk about compensation, what you'd have to give up, that's a different story. But this New York Jets team, I have screamed it from the mountaintops basically this whole offseason. If they would have had even competent quarterback play, they would have been a playoff team, no doubt about it. They had the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. That is unheard of incredible. And when, Braylon, you were talking about how the Rams were built with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Well, you know what? The Jets kind of have their own little version of that with Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner and of course, Breece Hall in the backfield. This is, at the very least, a high-end playoff roster. And Matthew Stafford would certainly be an upgrade over Zach Wilson, Mike White, and the corpse of Joe Flacco. It just would be. I don't know how much he has left, but it's very intriguing to me.
I love the question. Oh, by the way, his wardrobe changed. I had to throw my Jet scarf on.
Just remember, I was a Jet fan before you were born.
This is very true. This is very true. So I bow down and pay homage. You're absolutely correct. My apologies for trying to overstate my boundaries, Elder Statesman Maz. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right, buddy. Just because you played.
This is true. It means nothing. You've been cheering for those Jets for much longer than me, which means you have way more heartbreak.
I had to deal with Richard Todd. Come on.
It does, but I'm laughing because I laugh. Like, Lions use certain things when they want. Lions fans, they use certain things when they want to use them. When you want to use the last 10 games of the season, the Detroit Lions 8-2. You see how the defense played. But when you want to talk about how bad the Jets' offense was, oh my God, they didn't even have a quarterback. The fourth-string quarterback, so they didn't have a running back. That's another one of those wins y'all got in the last 10. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and wasn't Quentin Williams injured for that game?
Quentin Williams didn't play that game because it was a game-time decision. I was at the game. Game-time decision. Zach Wilson started that game. He had 300 yards random. I think he had 3 interceptions too.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Sometimes when you're in the NFL, you got to get lucky and get a team on their bad day. And if Quentin Williams would have played that game, I believe that the Jets would have won, and the Lions' season wouldn't have looked as great overall. But that's just how fine the margins are.
You think he would have covered Brock Wright?
If the Lions don't, hold on. Here's another one. Here's the thing. If Khalif Raymond don't get a punt return, let's not act like Khalif Raymond didn't have a punt return that game, which the Lions.
Well, the Lion offense sucked that day.
Yeah, it did. Well, it's Jared Goff on the road. Draft a quarterback.
Here we
Draft
go.
a quarterback.
Give me Anthony Richardson.
You're absolutely right. Draft a quarterback.
Hey, by the way, since that Matthew Stafford deal did not go down, do you know what that triggered?
What's that?
A $57 million contract belongs to Matthew Stafford.
He got paid.
He got paid
Tuesday.
yesterday.
Thursday?
He got paid.
Via Pro Football Talk, Matthew Stafford remains on the Rams roster, which means that under his contract from last year, another $57 million has become fully guaranteed. I believe it was 22 and 35, and you add that together and it makes 57, and that became available to him. I thought Wednesday, but let's just say Thursday. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
The rich get richer.
The rich get richer. And Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's one of those guys that was a very, very good quarterback on a bad team for the Lions, and he comes to the Rams, and he cashes one in. Good for him. He comes to the best roster he's had in his entire career. They win a Super Bowl. He's insanely rich. What a life.
I'm never a hater of those that do it in the clutch. Like, I'm never a hater. Like, you look at Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, very average NFL career, but when it was time for him to get paid, he had one of the best playoff runs that the NFL has ever seen. Ever. I can't hate on that. Matthew Stafford, like, he never won a playoff game. He went to 3 playoff games, lost them all. You can argue about the 2014 call. He's on that bubble. Like, what type of player is he? He gets a chance out in Los Angeles. He wins the Super Bowl. I can't hate on that. You can tell me about Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Cooper Kupp and all that. Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. So you can never hate on what people do and what they accomplish.
No, absolutely not. And Matthew Stafford, as much as he did have
Less Trent Dilfer and the Ravens.
Oh, screw Trent Dilfer.
I'm hating him. Me too. I agree.
Trent Dilfer played with the greatest defense in NFL history, and he does not deserve a Super Bowl. I'm glad they cut his ass after the season. That's what I love watching the bullies of Baltimore. And Trent,
he was all over the place.
Oh yeah,
he's a hater.
Oh yeah, and Trent Dilfer was all like, "Oh my God, what did I after the season where I won the Super Bowl? They cut me." It's because you didn't do anything.
Then he hates on Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
During the Bullies Brawl, he's you know what? These guys, they're not that impressive, and blah blah. You know what's not that impressive? One Super Bowl ring. So go join Aaron Rodgers at the back of the line.
Come on!
Yes.
And then
you like how I set you up for that? I set you guys up for that.
And then you go too far. You know what else Trent Dilfer can choke on? 113 touchdowns, 129 interceptions in his career. That is an actual fact. And didn't their defense outscore their offense in that playoff run? I think they gave up 5 defense and special teams.
Ray Lewis had 3 touchdowns in that playoff run.
And Jermaine Lewis, he had that kickoff return right after the Giants had that kickoff return to get their only score of the game. They basically had a shutout in the Super Bowl.
Hanford Dixon.
I was at that game.
Was it It was Dixon. Was it
Super
Hanford?
Bowl 35.
It was Dixon.
Yeah, it was definitely Dixon.
Dominique Hickson. Was that it?
I think it was Dixon.
Oh, it was Dixon in that one. I think it was Hickson.
Yeah, Hickson was later.
It was later. I figured.
Yeah, no, that was.
I thought it was Ron Dixon.
Ron Dixon.
Ron Dixon.
Yes, hey,
sorry.
Giant fan Maz. I like it.
That was the only time I got to cheer in that game.
That would have been.
Kerry Collins was harassed. Let's just say that.
Oh,
I hated that Giants team, dog. Like what they did to Minnesota.
Jim
in that
Foster
game,
was a good coach, though.
He was a real good coach. Very flat head, flat chin. Like he screamed Army. He screamed military personnel.
Dude, how miserable was that for you watching that Super Bowl? That was the biggest. I mean, I know not by numbers wise. I know that's.
Oh, it was a destruction.
The 49ers beat the Broncos, I think 55-10 in the Super Bowl. But the one between the Ravens and the Giants was the biggest blowout in Super Bowl history. Oh yeah, that was another one. That was very similar actually. But the difference in that one is that Seattle defense went up against Peyton Manning and the greatest offense maybe ever statistically in the regular season.
It was in Tampa. It was a beautiful night. At least I had that.
At least you had that. But it was a beatdown at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens, which Trent Dilfer had nothing to do with. He had nothing. I could have been quarterback of that team. I could have just handed it off to Jamal Lewis and let the defense cook, and they would have won the Super Bowl. I feel really strongly about that. I got a little triggered.
I see.
Absolutely.
I see. He's going over there.
But you know what? If I need to buy a new car, I obviously go to Les Stanford, of course, because Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile, of course. Looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac? Les Stanford in Dearborn. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. And I know all you guys have had to deal with before. You guys got a bog project coming up. If you do have said bog project, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Man, we are flying today. Such a fun show. All this NFL news. We talked about the Detroit Lions free agents. They all talked. And, of course, the NCAA tournament is still going on. We are monitoring that. St. Patrick's Day. Welcome back. I'm Flannel Sam, filling in for Ryan Ermanni. We got Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, JB Smooth, and Fletch on the ones and twos. Believe it or not, after all the NFL topics we have done today, there is still some great ones we can get to. So, Maz, without further ado,
let's do some quarterbacks, guys.
Quarterbacks.
Because the free agent quarterbacks are falling off the board. I'll start with Cooper Rush. He stays with Dallas.
Smart.
And now here are the guys that are changing teams. First one, Gardner Minshew goes to the Colts. 1 year, $3.5 million. After him, Marcus Mariota to the Eagles. 1 year, $5 million. So that's three more quarterbacks coming off the board. What do you think of those two signings first? I love Mariota to the Eagles.
I think they're big. I think they're both good signs. I mean, you saw what Gardner Minshew was able to do last year when he filled in for Jalen Hurts in the play. I mean, he still had 37 points. He still accounted for 37 points. I think it's a good backup. You know, you want to have him as backup. Hey, you need him 2-3 games. We talked about being able to be a bridge. This is not someone that you want to bring in and have to play the whole season. This is not someone you want to bring in and have to win your Super Bowl. You want to have a guy that can come in and be a bridge, 2 games, 3 games, like Cooper Rush did last year for the Dallas Cowboys. Marcus Mariota is one I liked last year. Remember, I wanted him last year. I wanted him to be.
But he wanted to be a starter.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
Now and I get it. You want to still see if you still have it. He went down there, it didn't work. The team wasn't necessarily. They were all over the place offensively, but he's a guy that now he comes. He's gonna back. He's gonna back up Jalen Hurts. He's a guy that can run. He's a guy that can throw a little bit. He's a guy that still keeps you to a certain extent the way in which your offense runs. He's a guy that still can run the same offense as you. You don't want to have Jalen Hurts as your guy, and then your backup quarterback is Matt Glennon. You want to have somebody that kind of fits the system. So what he sees Jalen Hurts do, if he ever has to go in there, he can do it as well.
So here's what's left, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions currently do not have a backup quarterback. Here's who's left.
All right.
Carson Wentz. Do you want Carson Wentz?
No.
Do I want Carson Wentz? No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Because it'd be too expensive. You're talking about a guy that's used to making $25 million a year. Carson Wentz's tag is going to be somewhere around $15 million, somewhere around like 12 to 15 mil.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Ryan.
No, he's too old.
No, yeah, he's lost it. Thank you, JB.
He's too old.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Nah, too many injuries. Like, he's a guy that he's tricky. He'll win the first 2 games for you, and then he'll fall apart as a backup quarterback. Nah.
Here's your backup quarterback. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I know I don't want him, but I heard rumors last year about this.
Teddy also made $8 million last season. It's too much.
Mason Rudolph. Remember last year we heard things?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a big topic.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mason Rudolph.
For very, very cheap, I would maybe consider it.
I don't hate that.
No, he's a very fine backup.
He's not a good quarterback at all, but for the system, the Detroit Lions line is so damn good. It's like, look, if you can't find a receiver in 7 seconds, you're pathetic.
Joe Flacco.
No.
He's still playing?
Right.
Like, Joe made a lot of money. Go home.
Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, no.
Nah.
No.
He did make an AFC Championship game, though.
Here you go, Michigan State. Brian Hoyer.
For like the veterans minimum,
He's still in the league?
Yeah.
He needs to go help Michigan State out. I think that'd be a good move for him. He can go be the quarterback's coach at Michigan State, and maybe eventually the head coach.
I mean, he's been a good backup. He even he's been thrust into the starter's role a few times. I remember
He was a starter, though. Like, he got paid to be a starter in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's not a backup role. He was starting.
He's
Trevor
a backup
Siemian.
now. Trevor Siemian. He was on the Bears last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't really. No, I mean,
Trevor Siemian's on a new team every season. There's a reason behind that.
Drew Lock.
no. I'd rather have Trevor Siemian.
That's the one from Denver. That's in. Was with the
He
Seattle.
was in Seattle, yeah.
I know he likes hip hop.
Oh yeah, that's his most famous.
Here's your guys.
I don't know what that means.
Former Lions practice squad player, later Titans starting quarterback, Joshua Dobbs.
Nah. I didn't like him at Tennessee.
It's hard for me to get excited about these because all these quarterbacks that you mentioned, I know we're talking about
This
backups.
is bottom of the barrel.
I know it is
They
bottom of the
spell
barrel.
failure.
Right. I mean, it might as well be. Are they going to
Failure.
sign? Are they going to sign me at some point?
Like everybody you name, as soon as you said, I instantly saw an interception. Like I'm being like every quarterback you
I
just
like
named.
Dobbs.
I was like, yeah, that's
I
a
like
pick.
what Dobbs did for the Titans.
Yep, I was like, that's a pick. That might be a pick six. Oh, that's a fumble. That's a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Like nobody did you named. I was like, okay, that could look good.
That takes us to our quarterbacks. Nathan Peterman and Nate Sudfeld are
we got
available.
Nathan.
Jeff Driscoll's available.
Bad. I mean,
I'm just telling you, these are the guys that are left.
I know it's not. I mean, Joshua Dobbs. I'll even admit, maybe for the veterans minimum or even a Trevor Siemian, I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea of giving him a little bit because
he's not a bridge though.
No, he's certainly not.
Rams practice squad player.
He gets in and it's
Bryce
over.
Perkins.
Look, you're going through this list, man. You know what it's doing for me? It's telling me that I think Dan Campbell needs to get his Dick Vermeil on. He needs to have open tryouts, and he needs to look for the Vince Papale at quarterback.
There you go.
And he basically needs to go find his backup quarterback.
Or
wasn't his name Vince Papale?
Yeah.
You gotta give me some love for
Marky
that.
Mark.
I'm talking
Or
about the real Vince Papale.
is Brad Holmes waiting
Marky Mark
to the draft?
That's on the table.
Are you ready for this?
Draft.
I'm going to go in the Fletcher's booth. I'm going to go into Fletcher's brain, and I'm going to pull out Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
Ooh.
You just got the
second round. Second round, second pick.
48 Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. I don't think he lasted a third. This is a guy who would have been a first-round pick had he not been hurt. He's going to make it to the second round. Now, I know you guys don't want me yapping for a quarterback with the first pick.
Now, does he turn?
Okay.
Does he turn 30 this year or next year?
Next year.
Okay.
He's going to be 25. Okay? So he sits here for 2 years. He's still 27.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't hate. Here's the thing. I am kind of
Nate Sudfeld.
I get it, Maz. I'm kind of with Fletch. If he was available in the third round, I would jump at it. If somehow the Lions traded back and got more picks, I would be all for it. Hendon Hooker, I mean, he was a damn good quarterback, and he doesn't rely as much on his legs as you might think. He's a damn good pocket passer. He threw for 58 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in his last 2 seasons combined against the SEC. I don't necessarily
He was in a good conference. Like, it wasn't like he was playing against, like, no-names like Will Levis was. Like, he was actually, like, going nuts.
Well, he was actually productive.
I have to agree with you.
He had a phenomenal year.
2 years. Now, 100% I agree with you. The thing about that is for where I want to draft him and pay him, he'll be gone before then. Like, where I believe I want to draft him and pay him is like 4th, 5th. Like, 4th round, I would love to get Hendon Hooker. He's not going to be there by 4th. I think somebody's going to get him by the 3rd. I like a guy like Clayton Tune, man. Like, I think I like Clayton Tune for you. You don't like Clayton Tune out of Utah?
No, I'm not necessarily anti.
I think you can get him in the 6th round or late 5th.
Oh, no way. He's not lasting.
Clayton Tune,
He
5th
might-
round, 100%.
No, I was gonna laugh because I think he's been hanging out with Lucas in the back too much. That's his guy. I think.
Yeah, no, Lucas and Spence both love Clayton
Dude,
Tune.
I think
I like him a lot, though.
If Clayton Tune was available, he would be.
He's
Lucas,
athletic. He's got an arm. You put one thing about it is when you have a line like the Detroit Lions, like with that line, I can envision so many different players and so many different things working because of how good that line can be. So Clayton Tune is a guy that I'm definitely keeping him in mind in that end of 5th, 6th round.
Out of all the flyers, out of all that kind of the flyer picks in the later rounds, I would probably say Clayton Tune is the one that I would be happiest with.
Yeah.
At that point, I wouldn't mind if they took a flyer on Clayton Tune at all. Lucas in the back, if you're watching, I know you would take him if he at 6 overall.
He's beaten USC 3 times in a row. USC cannot beat Utah. The last 2 years, Utah has been a dominant program, been a good program. They lose the big games, but I'm just saying, man, you gotta pay attention. When you win in college is when you get me excited. And he definitely knew how to win in college.
Yeah, you know who didn't win in college? Anthony Richardson, Will Levis.
Ooh.
I mean, those are just facts. I mean, Clayton Tune
roasted.
JB and these sound effects.
One thing that you're right. To me, I think I've had this conversation with you before. To me, it's not even as much about winning in college. It's a byproduct of it, but it's being productive in college. Clayton Tune, at the very least, was highly productive in college. Will Levis and Anthony Richardson were not. I know we're talking about two different situations.
If you're not going to win, you got to be productive. Patrick Mahomes didn't win in college, but goddamn it, if he wasn't productive, excuse my French out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude, I mean, if Patrick Mahomes had some of the worst he played on Texas Tech. Those were some of the worst defenses I've ever seen in college football. He still was throwing for 40 touchdown passes.
Like Derek Carr with the Raiders. They always had horrible defenses in Oakland and now Vegas.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because Derek Carr, I think, history will show that he was a little bit underrated. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Fame or anything, but he has played with some bad defenses.
I can rock with that.
Okay.
I can rock with that 100%.
Absolutely. And you know what? I can rock with more than anything in the world? A Lady Jane's haircut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. You know that is all right.
It's Friday, man. Shoot, I'm ready to turn up.
Oh, I'm ready to turn up too. Right after this show, and you know why I'm feeling so confident? Because a couple of days ago, I went to Lady Jane's.
Is that what it is, Sam?
That is the.
Oh, you look good there, bro.
Oh, thank you so much. I went home and my wife was like, "Damn, you got a haircut," and I'm like, yeah, "Hell yeah, I did." And that's because I went to one of the great stylists at Lady Jane's. I went to Beth this time, but I've been to at least 4 of them. They all do a great job with my hair. Lady Jane's, you can get an award-winning experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
And welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I am Flannel Sam. Next to me is Braylon Edwards. We got Tom Mazawey in the Maz chair, JB Smooth and Fletch on the 1s and 2s. And if you missed this show live or you just want to catch the replay, go check out the podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. Go to the woodwardsports.com website, check out their merch, check out replays of live shows, check out clips, all that good stuff. It's got pretty much everything you could want. And Maz, there's even more NFL topics to go around. So without further ado, what do you got, Tom Mazawey?
The Bears signed a couple of players. They got Dante Foreman, former Houston Texan.
Running back.
They signed him, and they also signed Robert Tonyan from the Packers, the tight end. So the Bears, God bless you, Fletch.
The Bears are still working, man. Dante Foreman was a good running back last year. I mean, you saw what he, as well as Chuba Hubbard, did to the Detroit Lions defense in that game in December. Robert Tonyan's a guy that's been injured for the Green Bay Packers. When he's not injured, Robert Tonyan can play, but he has been injured. So it looks like the Bears, I mean, they're moving in the right direction. I personally like David Montgomery over Dante Foreman, but they are still moving in the right direction. They're getting key pieces and they're placing them in there. It's tough to just hodgepodge and put something together, but every once in a while it does work, starting with the quarterback, and they got their quarterback. So I'm excited to see what the Chicago Bears are going to be, and they still got a lot of picks in the draft, Maz, and they still have a chance to get Fat Boy at pick 9, Jalen Carter. Because I told you it was
Chubby. I name him Chubby.
He's Fat Boy. It's no big deal. Fat boys get love. like in this day and age, fat boys get a lot of love. So we will see what they do. But I tell you this, it's definitely fun to watch. The NFC North is definitely going to be a division to keep an eye out on, whether it's going to be really good and really competitive or it's going to be really bad.
Oh yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
And the Bears, I'll tell you what, they're adding some weapons around Justin Fields. They traded for DJ Moore when they traded back that pick, and they got Nate Davis in free agency, a guard, and now Deontay Foreman to step in for David Montgomery. I wouldn't say replace because David Montgomery is a better back, but they got Deontay
damage
Foreman.
Control.
Yeah, damage control. They got
damage
Deontay
control.
Foreman to pair up with Khalil Herbert. I don't hate it. I think we're going to see, at least in terms of him throwing the football, we're going to see a very, very different Justin Fields. I could see him being a guy who has a breakout season because the Bears, they obviously believe in him. They're adding pieces around him, and the defense is going to be better. So the Bears, they're coming.
They already had a good tight end in Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet, yes. I almost forgot about Robert Tonyan. That Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan duo, if Robert Tonyan stays healthy.
It's good.
It's a good one.
Like a very, very poverty's man's Gronk and Aaron Hernandez.
I love that all three of the wide receivers are completely different wide receivers. Like DJ Moore is very, 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 very different than Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool, very, very, very different than Darnell Mooney. Like those guys, Darnell Mooney's like the kind of the wiry, explosive guy. He's kind of like their Brandon Ayuk, if you will, from the 49ers. Chase Claypool's your 50-50 ball guy, although he wasn't that good last year. Getting acclimated to the system, he's going to be your 50-50 ball guy. And then DJ Moore is going to be your stud. Like DJ Moore is going to be the guy, yo, coach, I need to play. Yeah, get him the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Justin. Him, DJ right there. Get him the ball. So they're very different, and they're all good in their own ways. So, hey, man, NFC North. Oh, it's going to be fun to watch.
Hey, it's been a couple days since the Cowboys cut ties with Ezekiel Elliott. Yesterday, John Machado from the Cowboys, he's a reporter in Dallas, one of their beat reporters, caught up with a guy that's pretty disappointed, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, it really is. It's tough. A brother, playing the game with a brother, being able to start this NFL career and share so many memories and grow up as men with this organization. I really can't imagine taking the field without him. Something I don't know if it's completely hit me yet. Obviously, I've talked to him. I'm hurt. I'm sure he is, but it's more important for me just to be able to support him. I know he's got more opportunities coming his way, and love that guy, proud of him. Number one supporter in here for him no matter what.
Yo, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm upset too. You know, I'm not upset. Wrong word. Because it's a business. I'm hurt. Yeah. You know why I'm hurt? We came in together in 2016, and you know why I got paid? Because of you. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Dak Prescott got paid because of Ezekiel Elliott. What he did in 2016, 17, and 18. Ezekiel Elliott was a constant standard, over 2,000 yards from scrimmage all three of those years, 1,600 rushing, 1,400 rushing, 1,300 rushing. He got paid because of Zeke, and Zeke got paid because of him. Those guys are brothers in our, because Dak did his thing too for those 3 years. Can't hate on what Dak did. They got each other paid, but Zeke got Dak paid.
Absolutely. They came in as rookies together. Yeah. They were 1-2 in the Offensive Rookie of the Year race in 2016. They had a good year. I thought by now that, and I think they probably thought by now that they would at least go to a conference championship game, maybe even win a Super Bowl together, but that's obviously not going to happen. And we forget how great Ezekiel Elliott was when he first came into the NFL.
Remember when he jumped in the Salvation Army, the red tin?
And then faked it the year later.
Yeah.
Like, Ezekiel Elliott had the craziest stretch of games that I've ever seen with my own eyes in Big Ten. Now, Mike Hart did this too when I played my senior year. I think he had 4 back-to-back 200-yard games, or I think he had 3. What Ezekiel Elliott did against Michigan and then Wisconsin and then Alabama and then Oregon in the national championship game, ladies and gentlemen, that will never be done again. He went 225, 237, 240, and 207. Ooh. That'll never be done again. He had 1,000 yards in 4 games.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll tell you what. Ezekiel Elliott.
I hate Ohio State, but real recognize real.
He is arguably the best, at least he is definitely the best Big Ten running back I've ever seen. The best Ohio State running back I've ever seen. I feared Ezekiel Elliott.
33 from Wisconsin, boy. It wasn't nothing like him.
Oh, I mean, Ron Dane. But, you know, do you think, I mean, it's comparable, right? Ezekiel
Elliott, comparable. Yeah. Division I all-time leading rusher.
That's true.
Because, you know, usually like, you'll have some small school have more yards than this guy or some crazy stats. Ron Dane has the most yards in Division I history. 2,000 as a freshman, 1,900 as a sophomore, 2,000 as a junior, 2,000 as a senior. I don't want to hear about it.
That's why he had nothing left for the Giants.
Exactly.
Hey,
Very true.
He's not great in the NFL. I mean, he had a couple.
He was in Texans. I think he was decent with the Texans.
He was all right.
He was better than he was with the Giants.
Absolutely, he was. But yeah, Ezekiel Elliott.
Giants kept trying to get those running backs. None of them really worked.
They did not work.
You know, and then they got their own kind of Ron Dane in the NFL, Brandon Jacobs. At least in terms of power, not in terms of production, but Brandon Jacobs was a load.
Guess what draft class Brandon Jacobs was in? Class 05.
Class 05?
Class 05.
Was he a lower round pick? I forgot.
Fourth round.
Fourth round, yeah.
Running back, though.
Running back. He was a damn good player. He had some of the most impressive highlights I've ever.
No huge upsets today in the NCAA. Just all the seeds holding their own. St. Mary's over VCU right now. Congrats to the Spartans. They trounced USC. Let's see what they can do next. Probably going to play Marquette.
I really hope they don't make a run. It kind of scares me a little bit, though, because a lot of the teams that Tom
Marquette's tough.
Marquette is tough, but Shaka Smart's their coach.
And I love Shaka Smart.
But Shaka Smart, he was not good with Texas, though.
Okay.
He was great with VCU, but with Texas,
VCU's losing right now.
Hey,
I think I bet on VCU, too.
Me too.
You did, too?
St. Mary's is taking care of biz.
St. Mary's.
I suck.
You know what? On that note, of course, it has to be about St. Mary's. But on that note, how about we all enjoy our St. Patrick's Day? I had a great time these last couple of days filming for Ryan Ermanni. Thank you, Braylon, Maz,
of course, brother.
JB Smoove, and Fletch for making me feel so welcome and let me step right in and hopefully do a seamless job. I had a lot.
You killed it, brother. This is what you do.
Thank you so much,
You were built
bro.
for this moment, man.
I was built for this moment. Next to Braylon Edwards, one of my favorite athletes of all time, especially as a youngster at Michigan. My favorite Michigan athlete ever, just for the record.
Oh, you're the best.
Yes, absolutely.
You're the
But you know what? You guys have a great rest of your Friday. Tune in next week when Ryan Ermanni is back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Check out the podcast. Check out the website. And I will see you all. Maybe I won't, but you all, everyone else in here, will see you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
See you in 2 and 2.
What up, though, Lion Pride? I'm excited to get this journey started with you guys. It's going to be a special process. We're ready to do it. You know, we're moving in the right direction from top down. You know, I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to showcase what I can do for this city, for you guys, and just ball out. So let's do this thing together. Man, and one pride. Let's do it.